Good morning. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the hand that I'm now introducing to the drawing. Hands can be really hard to do, particularly in the realist tradition, and sometimes foreshortening can be very tricky. I found that the important thing is to do extremely accurate outline drawing and to forget about the shading in the initial stages. And that will allow you to understand the positive and negative shapes that the forms offer and how to get accuracy of foreshortening. What I usually do if I'm working from a photograph or a life model is watch for where the related tips of the fingers are to one another. So there's a line that moves from here to here to here. It slightly levels off, drops down, and then drops down again. If you get any of these top points of the fingers wrong, then the foreshortening can be a problem. So even if it requires outline drawing again and again and again, you adjust until you can get this sense that as the finger moves towards us, that in a way, it doesn't look like a thumb, because the idea of a thumb is a long thing, but here it's towards us. So everything, the way you draw the nail, the curve of the nail, the shortness of the nail is important in allowing that form to develop. So the same with each finger. The shape of the nail is really important in describing how that finger moves towards you, because it's the thing that gives you the perspective on the lie of the finger. So right here on the pinky, the nail is just a small lozenge shape, and you only have this bit here. When you see down behind the nail, particularly in these female hands, you see down behind the nail. So that's a line. Depending on the light source, it will illuminate the nail in different ways. So you have a sharp edge here, and then it will tail off to nothing. So here the cuticle is obvious, and then again you've got a sharp form that fades, and depending on the light source behind, the very top of the nail you'll hardly touch. That'll be white paper until nearly near the end. And when you shade, try and stay away from the lightest areas in the drawing, because that will allow you to get definition later. You can work to that white line on both sides and then decide whether that needs to be shading, because that is important in describing the top of the finger. The creases are still line drawn elements, but that describes the form into the palm of the hand. The way the folds of the skin between the thumb and the edge of the hand here, that all describes what's going on as the fingers crease. Similarly, the shape of the knuckle lines, you'll have one that comes from behind here along and then drifts back. That line there may be eventually in the drawing once you've finished your depth of shading, because that will allow creases in the skin allow you to describe the form as it moves round and back. So anyway, I'll post more as I work on this later on, and I hope that you found this helpful.